tell you your own story. Let me walk you through your lives. Only a second, it's all it takes to realize there's 100,000 angels by your side. There's 100,000 angels by your side. Do you hear me talk to you? I whisper through doorways and pathways of your mind, clear like the morning dew, and fresh from my journey, cross an ocean of blue. Take just a minute, come and rest here by my side. Let me tell you your own story. Let me walk you through your lives. Only a second, it's all it takes to realize there's 100,000 angels by your side. There's 100,000 angels here tonight.
Om Shanti, good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you to the today's session. As we announced yesterday, today we will be having special session with a special guest, Brahma Kumar Prafful Singhi, and I am welcoming him as well. Brother Prafful, a very warm welcome to you also. And I would like to give brief introduction about him. He is qualified chartered accountant serving profession over 13 years, presently working with a multinational bank, Credit Suisse based in Pune as senior accounts officer, monitoring Basel compliance of organization. Academically, he has obtained 3 master degrees, which are MCom, MSc and MBA, first class with distinction. And he is 8th grade certified in digital keyboard from Trinity College, London, where he was in merit list. And He has also done 3 post-graduation certified diploma in value education and spirituality, counseling and hypnotherapy, and international financial accounting standards from UK. He was all India merit ranker in chartered accountancy examination and other competitive exams. He is associated with Brahma Kumaris since 16 years and regular student at Pune Mira Society Rajyoga Center. And he has conducted over 100 seminars in various schools, colleges, and corporates like Tata Motors, Wipro, Shahu College, etc. And he has a deep liking for music. He sings and plays different music instruments like piano, guitar, mouth organ, banjo, digital keyboard, flute, etc., and participated in many stage performance. And there will be many more. We have already shared in WhatsApp group so that you can refer that also, that as well. Uh, Brother Prafful, I request you to continue the session. Over to you.
Thank you, sister. Sister, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So, welcome everyone. Happy to see that we have such a wonderful group. And I have been told that you are introduced to this Rajyoga 7 days foundation course, which you all did last week. And this week, you all are into a more advanced stage, going through the intermediate batch. So I'm very happy that you all have chosen uh, this 7 days Rajyoga course, just to experiment with and try to learn something new, uh, which otherwise it's very difficult for us to find out time for new learnings. Because I believe that each one of us is so busy in our day-to-day life that whenever it comes to learning something new or experimenting, we are like, oh my god, I'm so busy, maybe I'll do this later, maybe I'll postpone this a month later, 6 months later, 1 year later. And many times it so happens that that day doesn't come. But very nice to know that you all have chosen to continue with this course and even continuing the intermediate batch. I was told that there were many in the foundation, but a handful of y'all have chosen to continue. So a big congratulations to each one of y'all uh, for choosing, experimenting with this thing. So one of the element of the intermediate course is, along with the core knowledge which y'all are getting, I believe Sister Shalu is sharing with y'all daily basis various spiritual gems which you are trying to apply in your life, which you are understanding. But along with these things, this course is also structured to include experiences of some of the volunteers or some of the BKs who have been practicing Rajoga and sharing their insights, sharing their experiences. And that is why probably I'm over here. I'm not here to really teach you all anything or give you all some kind of gyan or jargons that do this, do that, and this is right, this is wrong. Probably that is not my role today. My role is just to share with you all my experiences while experimenting with Rajyoga session in my life. So that is what I am here for. And so I'll be there with you all for another 45 minutes, sharing some of my insights, my understanding, the way how I interpreted this Rajuga course. And maybe after around 8, I'll stop. And if you all have any questions for me, if I can address those questions, I will be glad to take them. So are we okay with this structure? Okay, so how do you all interact? Do you all speak or raise your hand, or I don't know? Let me know if you're not able to hear me, okay? Because it should not happen that y'all go off to sleep and I keep on speaking. So if you all give me some feedback, non-verbal feedback, that will be very great. So yeah, let me start. So as sister mentioned, that I have been associated with Rajyoga since 16, I think now it's 18 years. Ever since I was in standard 11th, when I was 16 years old, I got introduced to this Rajyoga, and now I'm probably age of 33, 34, and still, a regular practicing of this Rajyoga meditation. When I was originally introduced to Rajyoga, at that time of 11th standard, when I was really 16 years old, I was of the belief system that this religious things, spiritual things, and doing puja, part, and all these things is probably not my cup of tea. This is something to be taken care of at the later part of my life, probably at the age of 60, 70, when people don't have anything to do, and that is the time when I should really do all those things. So I was not really very keen in you know uh, doing this meditation and all before joining Brahma Kumaris. Although I was introduced to some of the Hindu faiths, Hindu philosophy by my parents, being born in a Hindu tradition family. So I was introduced to various deities, the Hindu scriptures. Probably I could understand some of them. Some of them could go over my head. But yeah, I was at the end of the day, okay, maybe this is the belief system. I will explore this at a later stage of life, and now is my time to play and do something. And I didn't really give much thought to those. But when I was small, there was a thought into my mind that what would be who would be the supreme. There are so many people praying different types of deities, different types of religions we have, and at the same time we also say that God is one, God is supreme. So who would that one be? Is there anyone above him, or he's the only one above? So there were various such questions coming to my mind when I was small. And when I got introduced to this Rajayoga course, slowly, these things started. I started getting clarity that who are deities, who is the supreme, and how the interplay of birth and death really come into a picture, which probably even you all might have got to know in past few days. So these things were very new to me at that time when I was in standard 11. uh, and probably I liked some of the things, but I there were some of the things which I didn't really like also, because I was not told to that those things by my parents, or by my school education system, or by my elders, or by whatever scriptures, religious books which I followed. So after doing my 7 days course, I was not regular like you guys. I was like little lethargic, to be very honest. So I used to go to the Rajyoga center. It was close to my house, a couple of not a couple of kilometers away. So I went over there. I did my 7 days course, and I discontinued for some time. And over there, sisters told me that my parents were quite regular. So they told my parents that why don't we don't see Prafful coming? He did the 7 days course. He was quite enthusiastic. Why doesn't he come? My parents told that no, he has college, he has this and that. And actually, I had college uh, at that point of time. The classes were held in the mornings, and I had college at that time. So I really couldn't make the BK classes. And it so happened that I got to know that the classes are even in the evenings. So first month I was not really very regular. Second month onwards, I thought, let me try the evening batch. Just like you all are coming in the evening time at the 7 p.m. I believe. So that time we never, of course, we didn't have this liberty of virtual classes. I physically used to go to the Rajyoga center, and over there I found that in the evening batch there were many youth coming, youth of same age group. There were some probably little older than me, a couple of them my age, and couple of them little more older, maybe 30, 35 years. But there were around 25 people between the age of 15 to 30 years. That 15 years age group, all of them would be. And that is the time I really started asking each and everyone that this is the age of you all to play, to hang around with your friends, and if you come to this evening to this spiritual organization, what really makes you attend this? What interests you over here? So they started telling me, Praful, you're very new. You're probably just 1 month old. Once you get introduced, once you start applying this Rajyoga meditation, that is where you will find the benefits. So I was like, okay, maybe you're right. And because, there is this thing, whoever is associated with any organization, he will always tell that, my organization is great. And before coming to Brahma Kumaris, I was also introduced to various other organizations like the Art of Living, beautiful organization. Then I was also introduced to Vipshana. Vipshana, the center is in Pune itself, very close to my place. And I also had done Reiki. I'm a second degree Reiki master. And Happy Thoughts. So various institutions I was introduced to, and I was knowing various different belief systems that this particular school of thought has this thing to teach about meditation, about religion, about spirituality. And I thought probably Brahma Kumaris is another belief system. So just hold on. ऊपर से जाओ. Just give me a second. Okay, I'm so sorry. There is some construction work, some renovation going at my house, and there could be some background noise. So I'm very sorry for that. So let me come back to my story. So I was introduced to various belief system, and then I got introduced to Brahma Kumaris and this meditation, what they call as Rajyoga meditation. So I thought, okay, maybe this is another form of meditation. Let me experiment it. Anyways, they don't charge us any fees, which other institutions probably charged me a good amount of money. Money was okay, as long as I get knowledge. But when it comes to Brahma Kumaris, there was no fees for the 7 days course. Even there was no fees for the regular classes. Even there was no fees for any of the conferences. So I was wondering that if they don't really charge and they are so keen in getting this knowledge to everyone, there would be definitely no profit motive, there would be no commercial aspect, there would be pure intent of serving the mankind. And that is why they are of such they are such this thing that selflessly they are doing service. But then how does that translate to me? Does it really help me? So I started asking the sisters, that okay, Rajyoga meditation is good. I try to do this, but will it really benefit me? And they told me, Prafful, why don't you experiment it? Okay, so there is nothing that whatever we tell that is correct. You do not accept it blindly. All that you need to do is that you experiment it for yourself. And I was like, okay, let me try. If it works for me, it's okay. Otherwise, anyways, I'm introduced to so many other courses, so many other institutions. Probably Brahma Kumari would be another institution in that range. So I started experimenting Rajyoga meditation. And friends, believe me, that was the time where I started experiencing the depth, experiencing my pure love for the Supreme, experiencing my innate qualities, experiencing my innate values. Slowly, those things started coming within me. Initially, it was looking superficial. When I was told during the meditation that I am a point of light, I am a soul, my home is up above, supreme above, supreme father is my father. I was like, okay, yes. But gradually, when I started experiencing it, I started getting myself involved in it. That is when I really started uh, enjoying it. And that inner bliss is something which really kind of started getting transformation within me. Let me give you a small background about me, about my childhood. You must have seen me. I'm totally white skinned. Okay? This white skin is not something I've painted myself. This is a natural skin. I have this natural hair, white, and people like me are called albino. You all might have seen my eyes. They are constantly, fluctuating. There is a squint in my eye, and my eyesight is very weak. Doctors have certified myself as 85% blind. My 85% eyes are damaged. I can just see 10 to 15%. And on papers, I'm legally blind. So I have certificate from government hospital that I am blind, because anything of 75% blindness is considered to be almost blind. So my vision is very negligible. If I have to read anything on a mobile phone, I have to just get it so close, just 1 centimeter or 1.5 centimeter close to my eye, in order to read anything, maybe on the phone or maybe on the PC. So this problem with me is there right since birth, when I was day 1 years old, and it is persisting even till the date. Okay, even now there is no depletion in my eyes, but there is no improvement as well. So my eyes are stagnant, and because of my skin having the pigmentation, the lack of melanin pigmentation, my skin is very much vulnerable to the sun rays. Whenever I go outside in the sun, my skin turns into red, because I can't bear that much glare. My skin also can't bear, and my eyes also can't bear that much. Okay, so let's jump back to my childhood. When I was probably day 1, day 2, I was so small baby, and the doctor tells my parents that this child is called albino. He is one in probably 1 lakh births, just very rare, and probably due to some genes, you all carried it, and this is the child, and he probably will not be able to see, because that is what our experience says. And my parents were shocked. They were like, "Oh my God." You can just imagine, someone getting birth of that child who can't see and who looks so different. What would be the condition of parents would be? So my parents were like, "Does he really can't see?" Doctors told, "Let us experiment." So what they do is just they turned on the torch, because they can't ask me, Prafful, can you see? Because I can't understand. Day 1 kid, I was probably maybe 1 week old. So they switched on the torch and they just flickered the light left and right, and I used to nod my hand based on that light. And that is where they realized, oh, he can see something. But what is that something? They don't know, because even I couldn't express myself. So gradually, my parents brought me up, and I was, started going to my school. I was in standard 1, and when I was admitted to my school, I was probably very good. I could get admission into a good English school. My mother did a lot of hard work behind me, because of course I can't see, so she used to teach me everything. She probably prepared me for the interview. I really don't remember now what she really did at that point of time when I was 4 years old, 4 5 years old. That was very early memories of my childhood. So when I was in standard 1, my teachers told my parents that this school is not really meant for people like Prafful. Uh, don't be too ambitious. Probably now he is doing, but as he grows big, he will not be able to cope up with the studies. Children around him will tease him. He will not be able to see from the board, and you don't want your kid to be failing. So this is not the right school. You should put him to a school which is meant for differently able people. I guess you got what they were intending. But my parents were of the belief that no, come what may, we will teach our kid. We will make him strong. We will make we'll take up his studies. And they told that let him join this school. And slowly, my parents started taking my studies, because I couldn't really read anything from the blackboard. I couldn't really read anything from the textbooks. I was very small, and I completed my standard 1, 2, 3, 4, and gradually I came to fifth standard, and teachers were also little surprised that okay, I could make up till fifth standard. But they again told my parents that fifth standard is okay because internally we can pass the kids. But what about 10th? Will he really able to clear the 10th standard? My parents told, let's see, let's wait, watch, and see. And when I was in fifth standard, I slowly started understanding that I'm little different than others. I can't really see the way others can see. the blackboard, I was sitting on the first bench and blackboard was hardly 3-4 feet away from me, but I still couldn't see. I had to come like 3-4 inches close to blackboard. That was not possible when the teacher is teaching. So during my school lessons, I was like totally blank. I used to just rely on my ears, and probably some one of my neighbor, I used to carry the book, and when I used to go home, my mother used to make notes and she used to teach me. So long story short, childhood was a very big effort making for me, because learning was a very big challenge for me. I was never understanding in this class properly. Never I could make complete my homework. I couldn't write my notes. What I did is I just used to rely on the audio cassettes. My mother used to record the textbooks in the audio cassettes. I used to listen them, and then I could manage to write my exams, and I could get through my 10th standard. So now comes the important part of my life, 11th standard. That is when I chose to take up the course of chartered accountancy. And it so happened that in my family, a couple of cousins did this course of chartered accountancy, and they could clear it after maybe 8 to 10 attempts after sitting in each exam. So they took more than 8 to 10 years. Two times in each year they gave exams, and they told me, Praful, it's okay that you cleared 10th standard, but chartered accountancy course is not your cup of tea. It has so thick books. Your mother will not be able to record also, because your mother is also not educated that much. And we also couldn't clear that. We took so many attempts, and we would really recommend you that you do some graduation, you do some basic thing, and don't really be that ambitious that you will do this CA course. And that was the same time when I got introduced to Brahma Kumaris. Okay, and when I saw that, I asked my teacher, who took my course, that will this Rajyoga help me focus in my studies? I can't see much. Will it help me improvise my memory power? So the teacher told, yes, why not? It will increase your memory power. So I told, let me try, let me experiment. And then what I did is, as my sessions, as I used to go to the daily Murli classes. So what happens is, after 7 days course, okay, now like we are meeting online, but in physical things, it so happens that after completing 7 days course, we go regularly for daily spiritual class, which is called as Murli. I'm not sure whether Sister Shalu introduced Murli to you all. It's basically a 3 to 4 pages document, which is the divine versions of the Supreme Soul from the human medium of Brahma Baba. And those versions of Murli, we are basically reading every day. Okay, every day that is being told in the Rajyoga centers, and we listen it on a daily basis. So I started attending the Murli classes, uh, and I started capturing those points which would help me increase my meditation, which would help me increase my yoga power. And I started noting them. And while studying, before studying probably, I would give myself 10 minutes, and I used to focus at the center of my forehead, understanding myself as a soul. And then I used to connect myself with the Supreme Soul. I, grabbed powers from him, and I told him, okay, now I'll be studying so and so subject. With your help, with your power, I will be able to complete my studies. Something like that. I started experimenting different things. And friends, believe me, it so happened that while I was studying, automatically the waste thoughts, the negative thoughts, all went off. And no matter how much ever I used to study, I never used to study more than 45 minutes, because it used to hurt my eyes. I used to probably study half an hour or maybe 45 minutes. But those 45 minutes would be with full concentration, with full focus. And to such extent that whatever I used to study, that used to get printed in my mind. So it so happened that I gradually started studying, and gradually I started memorizing everything. And I started getting very good marks in my exams. Then I started really understanding the benefit of this Rajyoga meditation. I then started going deep. Okay, because once you get to know anything, if you probably, if you're taking a if you want to drive a car, okay, the initial days when you drive the car, you will feel that, oh my god, it's so difficult, it's better that I take a cab. Car is not my cup of tea. But gradually when you start driving, you improve your driving skills, you will understand that, oh my god, driving is so beautiful. Mm, by the way, I don't drive car, okay? uh, Driving car is still not my cup of tea. But just to give you all an example. So once you enjoy driving, probably then you will want, no, let me go for a long drive. Let me go to, some difficult place, maybe to a ghat or to some other place. So that ways, just give me a second. So that ways, as I started increasing my meditation, I started applying that at different areas of my life. Okay, studies is one of the area. I had a very deep insight for learning music. So as sister mentioned, 11th standard was a time when I really started appearing for the Trinity College London examination. Earlier, all I wanted to, but I was little hesitant because I didn't have that confidence. I still remember when I was small, uh, children used to, when I was walking on the road, children used to tease me. They used to call me Andrea, Pandrea. Probably a couple of them used to throw stones on me, and it was really difficult time for me. And sometimes I used to get really demotivated that, oh my god, why are they behaving so funny? But then when I started this Rajayoga meditation, when I got to know that Supreme is teaching us to be in awareness, self-awareness. Okay, Supreme is giving us so much good titles that I am the child of Supreme. I am worship worthy soul. I would be the one, I would be the deity whom everybody is praying. That time I understood that whatever others are seeing me, probably I should not see in that fashion. I should be seeing myself how the Supreme sees me. Then I started visualizing myself. No, I am a great soul. I am a wonderful person. I am being liked by everyone. And gradually, when I started the perception change for myself, I saw that everybody around me automatically changed their perception. So back to my college days. When I was in standard 11, when I used to go college, people used to pinpoint me. Probably they used to make a mock of me, joke of me, maybe due to some of the other reasons. But as I started practicing Rajayoga meditation, as I started practicing something what they call as affirmations, so man, that I am a worship worthy person, I am Master Almighty Authority, I am the crown, I am the ruler of my body. So when I started experimenting with these affirmations, practicing them on a daily basis, I saw that automatically that kind of aura, that kind of environment got created around me. And all around, all my friends started giving me respect, started probably obeying me. And that was a huge surprise for me. And I asked my teacher that how come this happened, that the person who was teasing me a couple of months back suddenly now respects me. He gives me so much of respect and good treatment. Then my teacher told me, Prafful, this is because you're practicing affirmations. As you see yourself, others will see you the same way. Deep philosophical statement she told. Again, that statement is given by the Supreme only. So it so happens that if I see that, if I demotivate myself that, oh, I can't do anything, why God has made me like this, I am good for nothing, this life is of, there are many people who get demotivated out of their life. Extreme cases are the ones who commit suicide. But if we start thinking in that angle, probably we attract those negative situations more towards us, which will bring us to the doom. But if we start practicing the affirmations, which again we get daily from the Murli classes, daily from the spiritual teachings, which we get from Brahma Kumaris, we start a different paradigm shift. We start that the people around you automatically start changes. There are numerous examples. I have very less time. Maybe I'll share some more examples of this aspect with you all. And I saw that this affirmation practice caused a phenomenal change. Okay. Other thing what I saw is, as I mentioned, that I had a deep learning, keen interest in music. So I wanted to really appear for the Trinity College London examination. But the problem of that examination, when I was playing piano with the both the hands, they used to give us sheet music. And sheet music is such that, I'm not sure if you all are aware that Western staff notations we write in 5 ledger lines. Okay, and it's different kind of script altogether. So me reading it even from 2 feet distance from that piano was a big challenge. So I used to use a telescope. I mounted a telescope on my specs so that I could read the 2 feet away book. Of course, I couldn't see the piano, the keyboard which I was playing, and then I used to practice with that much difficulty. But this Rajoga meditation helped me in such a way that it increased my willpower, it increased my confidence. And daily morning, I was telling to myself that I will crack this exam, come what may, come whatever. Because in that, there is one very difficult test that the examiner puts a sheet music in front of you and you have to play it on the spot. There is no time for rehearsal. There are some tests which we have to rehearse and play, but there are also some tests which are on the spot. So those tests also, with the help of Rajoga meditation, I could easily crack. And again, there I was like a merit list. I was the second in Pune to complete 8th grade, which is considered now. I think it's quite simple, but that time it was very difficult because there was no access to technology. There were no smartphones, no computers. Back in 2011, we were just introduced to smartphones. So these exams were very, very difficult those days. And gradually I started learning guitar, violin, mouth organ, flute. And I found that this concentration, this Rajoga meditation helped me grasp any instrument, whatever I wanted, with ease. Then I also started uh, taking up other courses. I had a keen interest for learning because whoever I met in my childhood, they always told me, Prafful, you will not be able to study, you will not be able to do this, you will not be able to do that. So I told, no, let me prove to the world that I can do anything. So along with my chartered accountancy course, I was preparing for CISA, I was preparing for my BCom, MCom, and many other courses simultaneously. And also I started getting coming to Brahma Kumaris Rajyoga Center. What another thing which I would like to share here, useful to me, was the regularity. Okay, so friends, we are surrounded with so much negative environment, so many negative peoples, that sometimes it so happens that even if we try to do meditation daily at our home, but we don't get that much power, we don't get that much energy. Probably we will do it for a couple of weeks and then again we will go down. So here, what they recommended me that you come daily. As I mentioned in my example, that earlier I was not regular, but after a month I started attending evening batch, and probably when my college got over, I again resumed my morning batch. But going to Brahma Kumaris daily used to always give me that spiritual ambience, that spiritual company. One of the four basic uh, pillars of Rajyoga. I believe you all might have got that lesson. So out of those four pillars, one pillar is having good company. And good company, when we come into this positive vibrations of like-minded people, okay, may that be any place, automatically whatever whatever energy or whatever thought you take for yourself, it doesn't take time for that to come into reality. Okay, so imagine at a place where so many Rajogis come together and do collective meditation, how powerful the ambience would be. I believe now, even for the last 8 to 10 days, whatever y'all are introduced to this course, I'm sure while Sister Shalu was taking meditation for y'all must be experiencing that peaceness, yeah, that blissness. Imagine if you would go to a Rajoga center, how much multifold that peacefulness would be. Okay, so one thing I always kept in my life, and that I'm practicing even till the date, I never miss going to the Rajoga center. So that helped me a lot. I still remember there are three, after completing the grade 2 of CA examination, 3 years we need to do something called as articleship, internship. Many of the doctors who are in this course, they might be knowing what internship means. So we had to work basically below a chartered accountancy just to understand how things really work, the financial things work, how to do the audits, how to do the tax assessments and things like that. So I had to go to office from 10 to 5. That was my office timings. And I used to also go to my coaching classes, because as you all know, I was not relying much on reading books. I used to rely much on my hearing ability. So I joined the coaching classes. So morning 3 hours from 6 to 9, and evening 2 hours from 6 to 8. Okay, just so morning time I used to leave my home early morning 5:30, so that I could reach my class at 6. And after the class, immediately I used to go to the office. After office, again back to a second class. And at 8 p.m., the evening class at Brahma Kumaris at my centers was from 7:30 to 8:30. Okay, so, and my class used to get over at 8. I used to catch a bus because I really couldn't drive myself. So I used to ask someone that, oh my, if this bus comes, please tell me. And people are helpful. They should tell me, oh, this bus is there. So I used to take this public transport. I used to come close to my center. I used to get down from the bus. I used to go running. By the time I used to reach the class, it would be 8:30, almost the closing time. But sisters were generous. They told, okay, Prafful, you can sit to do meditation for 10-15 minutes. So I just got probably those 10-15 minutes. But those 10-15 minutes, I still used to go to the Rajyoga center. I used to go into the meditation room. I used to experience that meditation for 10 minutes. And I used to read the spiritual lessons, what we call as Murli, for maybe 5-10 minutes. So by the time it was 8:45, 8:50, the center's timing was to be closed. And then I used to go home. But that 15-20 minutes was so much empowering, so much beautiful, that the day, my day used to begin early morning, leaving house at 5:30 till 8:30. I was outside only with classes, with things and that. But I was so light that 20 minutes made me so light that when I used to go home, I was so fresh that whenever I used to talk to my parents and all, they told, "Arey, aaj office gaya ki nahi gaya? Did you really go to office? You're so fresh." And then I used to tell them, no, I went everywhere. But last I went to BK Center, and there experienced this Rajyoga meditation. So, in essence, what I want to tell is that going daily to the center, going daily to that spiritual ambience, even some of y'all might have this practice to go to the temple, which is very good practice. If you go to the temple, not just to worship and sit, but even if you sit over there, we generate some good thoughts, we take some good vibrations, we do some meditation over there. If you do that on a regular basis, you will see that there will be no negative force attacking you. And even during my CA final examinations, my parents also told me, Praful, don't go. This is going nowhere. So focus on your studies. I told no, 1 hour I will go, because that time I had no classes. So 1 hour I will go to the BK center. I will listen to the daily versions. I will do some meditation, and then I will come home. I did that practice even during the core examination time. And I found friends that really helped me. Whatever I studied, as I mentioned earlier, it used to retain in my mind. And I really didn't require to study for those long hours, 18 hours, 20 hours. Of course, I studied 10 to 12 hours with a good amount of breaks in between. But whatever I studied in that 10 hours or 8 hours, whatever, I don't really remember. Sometimes I used to study very less, maybe 4 to 6 hours. But whatever I used to study during the last 1 month of my CA final examinations, that used to be, really there in my mind. And again, I experimented different things, whatever they tell, like they tell that understand Supreme Father as your companion, as your mother, as your father. Establish all of those relationships you want to establish as if you would have established that in the physical world. So I started experimenting that. I experienced a beautiful relationship of a friend with the Supreme. So whenever I used to go to my examination, I used to tell the Supreme, dear Shiv Baba, you are my best friend. You need to come today to write my paper. Probably I would have delegated this paper writing task to you only, but since you don't have a body like mine, so all that you need to do is that you have to come here and help me. So I used to give away all my tensions, all my worries to the Supreme. I used to go to my examination hall half an hour before, and I used to see all the students. Oh my God, they are studying so much that probably whatever they study will only come in the examinations. I used to just become detached, and I used to watch them. That so much they're studying, and I used to talk to the Supreme, my dear friend. So are you ready? After half an hour, the exam will start. And I used to be so light. And those 3 hours in examination was also not very easy for me because I had to completely bend on the table in order to write. Because as I told, I have to come 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter close to the paper. So throughout those 3 hours, I have to completely bend my back and write my papers because I believe in writing my own papers. That's why I appointed a writer for my examinations. Because if I write myself, I have that own way of presenting my papers and all that. So when I used to put my pen down and when I started writing, only after 3 hours I used to lift my pen up. There could be some questions which I was not knowing, but no, I was used to just tell Supreme, please help me. And that help I experienced during that 3 hours, which made me so light, which made me so much blissful. I can't express myself. And after completing my exam, I used to be on top of the world. Oh my God, I have done wonderful thing. I don't know what I have written, but whatever I've written, those 3 hours of was a beautiful experience. So my friends used to ask me, Prafful, did you write answer for this? Did you write answer for that? I told you I don't know what I've written, but whatever I've written, whatever I recalled, I did my best, and then happily I used to go from my examination hall. And when the result time used to come, my parents were so anxious that, Praful, will you really clear the exam? Your cousins took 10 attempts, 20 attempts. The papers that year were very difficult, and many people were telling that probably it would be very difficult checking because many questions were very tricky and all that. I just told that I have left everything on the Supreme. Because as you study, as you experience Rajyoga meditation, you start getting detached. You start getting, away from the incidents which gives you instant pleasure or instant sadness. And you look the world as a detached observer. And that really helps. So even my own activities, I perform my best, but then I used to get detached from that activity. And I used to enjoy. I told that whatever will happen, we will see. I have given my best. If I get attached with this scene, then that will again give me pleasure or that will bring me sorrow. Why should I do that? So all these concepts, when I started applying in my life, in my thing, I found them really working. And the results were announced after a long wait, after the examinations. As you all know, 2 3 months it takes. And people were very anxious that I will pass or I will not pass. And to my surprise, I was all India merit ranker. And I was also not sure that, how can I come in merit rank? So then again, I asked my teacher that how was this possible. Teacher told that you had the faith in Supreme, you did your best, and the Supreme works things for you. So that was another experience I found that Rajyoga really gave me. Okay. Then again, when I was going to as a chartered accountancy, first I thought to practice, but then later I realized that practicing would involve a lot of physical assessment, going to different clients places, seeing things. So I thought, let me start with working for a company. And I applied for different companies. And again, I was not sure who would recruit me, because when two people are there, one is perfectly all right and somebody is having a low vision. Why would really company choose me when they can get their work better from someone else? So I was not very sure that anybody would really appoint me. And again, I thought, let me use this Rajyoga. I just told the Supreme, my companion, you have to manage this interview thing. I will do my karma. I will not have any expectation of the results. I'll perform my best. You have to be with me. I told the Supreme, and there were a list of companies. I went for the first company. It was MNC, and I went to the company, and the HR asked me a couple of questions. I confidently gave him the answer. He asked me, "Do you have any challenges?" I told, "Yes, I have so and so vision challenges. I see this way, that way." And he told, "Okay, still you got good marks." And he asked me a couple of questions, and he told me, "Okay, we'll have another round, and we will directly take the digital round. We won't have any other between round." So I was astonished. I was like, "Okay, I don't know what he saw in me." He directly took me to the last round. And when I went for the last round, there was the director. I think he was someone from US, who was who came to India to take interview, because they really wanted some different kind of people for that position which they were really appointing. So he asked me a couple of questions, not really technical. He just asked me generic questions. I don't really remember what kind of questions he asked me now, because that is like almost 10, 11 years back. So I gave some answers confidently, and then he told, okay, you're selected. Would you like to work with us? Then I only asked him the question. I asked him, Mr. Director, you didn't ask me anything related to my technical capabilities, anything to what I have studied, anything about your company. Why are you recruiting me? On what basis you have recruited me? So he told me, Prafful, see, technical things we know you must be sound, and even if you're not sound, you will probably gather that. But what we really saw in you is the confidence. What we saw in you is the willpower. What we really saw in you, the perseverance with which you came throughout your life, and we are sure that you will use the same thing even in our company. So that time I didn't really realize that, but when I went home and I reflected, and yes, after that, then I did. There was no way, there was no reason for me to give any other interview. First company only selected me, so I again thanked God, and I was like, oh my God, I was not hoping that 8 to 10 companies anybody would really select me. And the first company itself, I got shortlisted, and they took me shortcut interviews, and they really passed me. But then when I went to home, I really reflected what really made my day, and I realized that meditation brings that much confidence in you, that no matter whoever meets you, that could be a director, that could be prime minister, that could be a president, since you are in your self awareness, since we are in our affirmations, that help us so much that no matter whatever person asks the questions, the vibrations which we emit automatically influences the other person. And that thing I experienced even during my office. Whenever I go to office, I experience that there are sometimes difficult situations, there are sometimes difficult customers, difficult bosses. But when we have this positivity towards them, when we have this meditation power, and with this power, when we have good wishes for them, automatically their response towards us, their negative vibrations towards us changes. I have many examples, many of my office examples I have to share, but in the interest of time, I think it's almost close to 8. So maybe next time I can share with you all. But the point which I wanted to make you here is that your attitude towards situations, towards people, towards your colleagues, towards your customers becomes so positive, and that itself brings a positive vibrations from there as well. So I really remember this example. So if you have this black and yellow balls, even Sister Shivani, I heard giving this example. If I throw black balls, automatically I will get the black balls in return. But if I throw white balls at someone, I will get the same white ball in return. So if I am positive, I am helping others, automatically the same I will receive from them. So like that, I started experimenting with this meditation. I experimented with the teachings from the Murlis at different places, in my studies, in my office, in my music career, in my relationship, in my family, with my friends. And I found that it really worked for me. And it worked for me to so much extent that, as I mentioned with you all, even till date, I never miss a single day spiritual lesson taught by Brahma Kumaris. And that belief system which I was sharing with you all earlier, that spirituality, which earlier I used to feel is something really to be practiced after 60 years. Little did I know at that time that spirituality probably is the most necessity for youth, or probably for the working people. Because what will be the use of spirituality when you are 60 years old, when you don't really work, when you don't really have anything to study? At that time, if you do spirituality, there will be nothing to experiment it. If I do that today, in my young age, I'm sure that each of us is so busy that finding time 1 hour for ourselves is very challenging these days. But if I'm able to really remove 1 hour for myself, not much, only 1 hour, that 23 other hours, it helps me manage those hours more effectively. Rajyoga meditation helped me automate so many processes in my office. The processes which used to take 4-5 hours for some other individual, I automated those processes just to complete in 15 to 20 minutes. Because automatically your IQ, your ability to think out of the box, your ability to have different perspectives, because you're not attached to the situation, the problem. You have that capability of getting yourself as a detached observer. And how can you get detached observer? When you start experiencing detachedness from your body. That first lesson which you all might have learned, because we are so much engaged in our body that I will do this, I will do that, this is my job, this is my burden, this is my responsibility, why did he say this to me? Automatically our energy starts draining. But when we start analyzing ourselves or understanding ourselves as a separate entity from our body, when we start looking our body as a separate being, this body is just a temporary costume, this role what I have got is a temporary role, automatically my attachment from those roles start getting disappearing. And then when I try to solve the problems, I get multifold directional answers, I get a 360 purview of how to tackle those things. And then that gives me instant success. It could be any problem in the office or it could be anything elsewhere. So in a couple of years only I realized that spirituality is really a necessity. And then whoever I meet, my friends and my colleagues, I used to tell them, encourage them that no, do undergo this 7 days course, do experiment it. If it works for you, very good. If it doesn't work for you, leave it. Nobody's really forcing you. And that is another thing I liked about Brahma Kumaris is that you know free thing is a separate thing, but apart from that, they don't really tell you that to attain God or to attain that spiritual level, you have to leave everything and go to a jungle and chant something for hours together or leave your family. Nothing of that sort they tell. They tell is that you stay in your family, you do your activities. All that you need to do is just remove 1 hour for yourself, or probably in between of the day you can find some 1 minute or 2 minutes to self check yourself. All that is what is required. And when we do that, we start getting results. So yeah, friends, a lot to share, but it's close to it. I was told that I should be sharing with you all for 1 hour, but there are uh, tons of experiences and tons of experiences which I have gained since last 16, 18 years. And it all boils down to how serious we are in practicing or in experimenting. There are various good things now. Most of you all must be using WhatsApp. You all must be seeing there are so many forwards, so many good thoughts, so many quotations, so many inspiring videos, so many motivational lectures, which you will feel, oh my god, this is very nice, this even I could do. But what happens is we listen to all those things, but when it comes to implementation, that is somewhere the gap comes. And to bridge that gap, what is required is soul power. And how can we attain that soul power? That is through meditation. Because once you do meditation, once you connect with the supreme and you gain power, then with that power you can transform to whatever you want to be. Okay, like if you want to gain even a physical position, if you want to have to gain, no problem, that power will help you in that. If you want to gain a spiritual attainment, it will help you. But the problem here is that we know the attainments, we also know the planning how to do, but the root, the power, the thing which bridges the two, that is something which is lacking. And that as per my experience, it will come with nothing but meditation practice. No matter how much good books I listen to, read, or motivational talks I listen to, but when I want to bring that thing in practice, I need that soul power which will come from meditation. And to me, Rajyoga meditation really worked. So with this note, I would pause for some time, and really thanks to everyone for patiently listening to me, to my story. If you feel anything of this could help you, and you can take that with you, wonderful. If you have any questions for me to address, I'll be here for some time, maybe 15-20 minutes. Feel free to ask me, and I'll try to share whatever I can. Thank you.
Shanti, thank you, brother, for sharing such a wonderful experience with us. Hope everyone would inspire with this. And we learned how Raj Yoga helps in all difficult situations, as well as how it improves our willpower and IQ, and how to maintain relationship with Supreme. Thank you so much for such a wonderful experience sharing. And does anyone have any questions? Please free to ask. You can raise your virtual hand as well as you can write on chat window.
I'm sorry for the background noise which is coming. Actually, there is some renovation work going, as I mentioned earlier. So please bear with me for some time.
Okay.
Okay, so anyone? No one has. Okay, so I'll share a couple of more experience. Is it okay if I continue for some time? We have. Well, can unmute yourself as well. Shweta, sister, can you just see if there
Y-
is power to
Yes,
unmute?
yes, yes, yes. They can
Okay.
unmute themselves. Yes.
So we have
Yes,
a simple.
certainly, Prafful bhai.
Yeah, somebody was telling something. Sorry, I missed.
Certainly, we would love to hear your experiences. Thank you, Prafful bhai.
Okay, okay, thank you. So maybe I'll continue something more. Okay. So I'm just sharing with you all some good experiences. I will also share with you all now some uh, not that good experiences. So because many times it so happens that in this journey you get to have both kind of things. So I just remembered one thing while I was in my office. This is something in the year of 2013 or 14. I think 6 7 years back. There was a different vice president whom I was reporting to, and as I mentioned, I used to automate things so much that I used to get a lot of free time in my office. So my work, I used to probably just do in a couple of hours, and I used to be free. And when I was free, I was exploring different ways to do service, because I also go to different colleges, different companies, to share my experiences, to teach meditation, or help those children or students facing their challenges, may that be relating to their personality, the time management, exam pressure, or confidence, or whatever it could be. So I used to prepare my PPT slides and things like that in my office hours. And of course, in office hours, we are supposed to just do the office work. We should not be doing anything else. But I used to complete my office work and I used to be free. So I used to do all those kind of stuff, research on many things on the internet and things like that. So my VP was not really happy with that. So he didn't actually inform me. What he did is he directly complained. He made a complaint to the director who was based in US, and he told that Praful is really not uh, keen in doing office work. He's simply wasting his time and doesn't do office work properly and things like that. Uh, um, Many such things, and actually was not wrong that way. When that director came to Pune, maybe next month only, he was here at Pune. Then he called me to his cabin and he gave me a very good class that Praful, I've heard a complaint from you that you don't focus this and that, and sorts of things he told me. And I told him that Mr. Director, I I have never missed any deadlines. I have been always doing my office work regularly, and I'm not sure why is this complaint made. I wanted to know the exact reason. So then he told, then did your manager speak to you about this? I told no. Had he spoken to me, I would have taken care. So then he called my manager to the cabin and he asked him that he tells that he has completed his work and this and that. So my manager told, no, but you do something of Brahma Kumaris also. I see you do something else as well and all. So I told him, okay, this is something which bothers you. You can tell me. I won't do. I was having free time, so I thought I could utilize that time in a fruitful way because I spend good amount of time in office. So you could have told me. So he told, no, you should not do this and that. So I got the essence that he basically is not in agreement with me. So I stopped doing anything extra, and still he was like, because I called him, I told director that I'm doing everything properly, and he had a different face in front of director. So he again started pinpointing me my mistakes, and he started escalating some of the issues. Couple of times I might have made some things here and there, and he started escalating those things. And then I thought, Praful, what's really happening? I just was speaking to myself that in spite of me doing work so nicely, there are some things which is not working. My VP is not really happy with me, and that is where then I started experimenting with this Rajyoga. So what happened is, whenever I used to do meditation, okay, in meditation there is something they have taught us which is called as Mansa Seva, or service through mind. So when you fill yourself with power, you can even transfer those power and transfers those good wishes to others. Okay, you all will understand these things much as you all do meditation sessions. I think probably this is very early, but it's okay for me to share because you all will get an introduction and insight onto how these things work. So when I was doing my meditation, I used to emerge, I used to visualize my manager, and I used to take powers from the Almighty, and I used to give those power to that manager. And I used to tell that manager that you are a wonderful person. I am having a very healthy relationship with you. uh, Working together in office is so exciting, so helpful. We care for each other, we are loving each other, we understand each other very well, and we are having a harmonious relationship. So these kinds of visions I started uh, preparing for my manager. Okay, remember over here, while doing meditation we should not be in a begging mode. Okay, all these years when we were in the path of devotion, we have been told that you should ask God, please give me this, I pray, I beg for pardon, I do this and that. Over here what they tell us, that God is your father, and in front of father we should not really beg. We should have a adhikar, we should have our right, we should have our will to ask anything from God, because he is our father and he will give to you. So whatever you need from the supreme, you can just ask from him and you can give it. And you should not even pray that please change the mind of this person. Just visualize that this thing has already happened, and you will see that those things happens. So during the meditation, I never mentioned that the manager should change, manager should be polite to me. No, nothing like that. I used to just focus on the end result. And what was the end result? That my relationship with manager is harmonious. I'm enjoying my work at office. I'm really up to his mark, and he's so happy with me. All those feelings I used to practice for 10 to 15 minutes, maybe for 7 to 10 days. And after 10 days I found that gradually the attitude of my manager started changing towards me. Earlier he used to pinch me for small things. Okay, one was just the meditation thing which I told you, but there were even other things. He used to simply email and cc to so many every or others, and just make a racket around that, Praful, you have done this, you have done that. Gradually those things started changing, and he started giving me more respect. And then I thought, okay, wow, this thing is really working. And then I increased that again. I did for another week, maybe for 15 days. And then I saw that within 15 to 20 days, his perception towards me completely changed. And he started involving me in all the management meetings. He started appreciating me. If I asked for holidays, he used to give, oh, Praful, please take holidays, no problem. And I was astonished that how come such a drastic change come. I still remember, just a month after that, there was a big mistake which I did. Uh, I did probably a mistake of a couple of billions. Billion is a huge amount, $1 billion. So I misreported something. Maybe that could be out of my carelessness or out of the controls which I missed out. It could be due to any reason, and that mistake was got to know in the office. And my the same manager called me to the cabin, and he told me, Praful, we want to meet you. So I was sure that this person will basically now blast at me, because till today I was just making small mistakes, or probably there was no mistake, but he was considering those to be mistake. But this was actual mistake, which was my negligence. And he told me, Praful, I want to meet you in the cabin. And I was like, oh my God, now what will happen? He will blast at me and all. So I told the Supreme, please come with me, and you have to manage the things for me. This is my mistake. I accept. And I already told him that this is my mistake. On the email, I had mentioned that. I went to the cabin and he started just talking to me, Praful, how is this thing? How are things going on? And things, I was telling, yeah, things are good and all. So I was just wondering, why is he not asking me about the mistake? So actually, he had called me for some different purpose only. I was just assuming that probably he would blast on me. So he was having a very healthy talk, and I only reminded him, "Sir, I made this mistake. I know you're aware this is a big mistake. I will take care next time." He told her, "Praful, don't worry. It happens. Don't worry. Don't take that personally. I will manage it. So just be careful next time." And then he again continued with the other topic, which was some other project. So that day again I realized, and when at the night time when I was going to my bed, I was assessing my result, the day's chart. I really told Shri Baba that you really handled the scene, and the meditation which probably I did the earlier days, giving good vibrations to him, it worked so well that he really had a very positive vision for myself. Until the time he was there working with me, I think he worked with me till 2017. Afterwards, he was shifted to London office. Till the time he worked with me, we really had a beautiful relationship. He really admired the way I worked, and I did my office projects and all that things. So this thing, changing someone through meditation also is a beautiful experience. This is just an experience of my manager I shared with you, but I experimented this with various other difficult situations. May that be difficult situations with a person in the company, in the office, in the home, because many times it so happens that even in family there could be some relationships which is troubling. But when you use the meditation as a tool, and you give that vibrations of positivity to the person after filling yourself with power, things really work. So earlier I was not really believing in those things when I was in that 11, 12 standard. I was like, "Arey, aisa hota hai kya? Nothing really happens. They are just they are just fooling." But when I started experimenting these myself, I started getting the results, and it really works wonders. So I thought to share this another experience with you all, so that if you all have some such difficult things, it can help. Anything else? Any other questions? Anybody having?
Om Shanti. Brother. Actually, there is one question in YouTube channel. One second. शिवा जोशी asking, मनसा योगा को पावरफुल कैसे बनाया, वो विस्तार से बता दीजिए भाई जी.
Okay. Okay. So Mansa Yoga को powerful कैसे बनाया? That means the service through mind, or the meditation of mind. I think the example which I have just shared right now, he needs more clarification on that part. So as I mentioned, these things gradually, when you all do the meditation, you all will understand more, because these many things are connected. But since the question has been asked, let me elaborate on this. So first thing is that whenever you do Mansa Yoga, Mansa Seva, or service through mind, you should not have any uh, you know expectations, as in this thing should happen. End result of this yoga, that I should be benefiting so and so things. Whenever we do Mansa Seva, the benefit should be for the entire society. Okay, as I mentioned, I never asked in my meditation that my manager should be changing. I just visualize that we have already changed. Okay, because if we do that thing at a future point of time, that will always go to a future state of time. But if we visualize that that thing is already being happening, automatically you attract those things happening towards yourself. So that is point number one. Whenever you do take any affirmations that I am a peaceful soul, never say that I will become peaceful soul, one day I will be very peaceful. No, 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 that is a wrong way of practicing. I am a peaceful soul, no matter even if I'm peaceless at the moment, but I am a peaceful soul. I am having a harmonious relationship with my mother. I am having a good relationship with my spouse. Okay, so just be experience that kind of pleasure, that state of mind in the present. Okay, so that is point number one. Point number two is whenever you do the Mansa Seva, first empower yourself taking powers from the Supreme. Okay, if you are already empty and then you start doing service, probably we will land up nowhere. If the bottle is only empty and you want to give water to someone, how can you give? So first you have to fill your bottle with the water, and then only you can fill, you give someone else. So before really going into the Mansa Seva, first 5-10 minutes I experience empowering myself, taking powers from the Supreme. And how can I empower myself? First, getting detached from my body, myself visualizing myself as a powerful being, powerful soul, and then I connect with the Supreme and take those powers from the Supreme Soul. And then once I feel that now I am powerful, now I am filled with that positivity, now I am filled with that energy, then comes the time, then now you give the energy to rest of the world. Okay, so this is point number two. Third thing is never expect the results happening in a couple of days. Sometimes it takes time. It takes a week, it can take couple of weeks, it can take months, because all of these sanskars, I'm not sure if the karmic philosophy chapter has been over, probably it could be over. So many of these difficult situations comes because of our previous births as well. So just to give you the example of my manager, it is not that I did something wrong to my manager that manager is doing in this birth. It could happen that in previous births there could be some karmic account which I have been carrying along, and this is the birth where now he's really causing difficult situation for me. So it could take some time depending on the deepness, and what is that deepness we don't know, because none of us remember our previous births, and there is no need to remember also, because if we imagine, if we remember that I have so and so karmic account with so many people, we will be probably be dead. We will just go mad. So it's good that we have a boon of forgetting the previous births. So whatever situations comes, accept it and just give your best. Give your vibrations to that soul, to the situations, and gradually, automatic things happen. Don't expect anything. So these are the 3-4 points which I can at this point of time I can share with you all. But yeah, gradually as you practice, there are some more things which you will come across. Just doing mansa seva doesn't help. Even your dincharya, your daily routine should be very good. If I am just throughout the day I'm negative, I'm fighting with people, and just evening I feel okay, let me do mansa seva, let me connect to the god, it will not happen. Rajyoga is not just a 15 minutes yoga, it's not a 30 minutes yoga, it's a lifestyle. It is something which we have to bring in our day-to-day routine. Our relationship, our daily activities should be a yogi, should be like a yogi. That doesn't mean that go in the forest. Yogi means being calm, having healthy relationship with everybody, having good food. Even this food helps. Having good company, as I mentioned, going to the center daily fills us with that positive energy. Getting up early in the morning, what they call here, we call it as Amrit Vela. All these things help us empowering our yoga, empowering our meditation things. It does. If you don't do all these things and you just do, okay, let me meditate for 15 minutes, you may not be able to experience bliss out of those 15 minutes, because throughout the day, though, you don't have that power. No, you're just depleting. So in order to make that 15 minutes powerful, even your day-to-day routine should be very nice. Okay, so all of these things interplay, and that makes your meditation also powerful. And whatever seva you want to do by mind, Mansa Yoga, whatever that brother was mentioning, it ultimately helps you all. So I hope this clarifies a bit.
Yes,
Any?
brother. There is two more questions.
Mhm.
Uh, how to build self-discipline and willpower and power of determination. So, question is asked by Anu.
Yes, you have asked a key question: how to bring discipline in life, and that is something that is a key actually, because until unless see Rajyogi, the very basis of Rajyoga is that we should have a disciplined life. Because if you don't have that discipline, if you don't have determination, uh, it just happens like you will get motivated after listening to me. Maybe you okay, you will do for a couple of days, but then you will forget. Okay, so the very good thing which God has told us over here is to maintain a daily chart. What we call here is a daily plan of action. So just like we have a schedule, okay, so many of you all are doctors, so you all have your appointments booked in the calendar. Like I have my meeting set in my calendar. I need to do this at so and so time with a meeting with so and so people. Okay, you all must be familiar with that. We book our Outlook calendars or Google calendars, or you all might be making a note on your appointment book as well. Similarly, make some spiritual goals, and that spiritual goals need not be very big. It could be very small things. Like, for example, while having a bath, I will give myself such and such affirmations. While going from home to office on the bike, I will be experiencing the angelic stage. It could be as simple as that. So if I just document those, you can start with just 4 to 5. While having food meals, I will not talk to anybody. I will have in the remembrance of Supreme, such small things. Or I will go to the satsang, to the murli class daily. I will find 45 minutes for myself. And when you start checking it at the end of the day, first day, if you check, probably out of 5, we might not have even done 4. We could have done just 1. It's okay. Second day, again plan for that. Third day, fourth day, each day when you see and when you mark yourself on that chart, and you will see that every day you are hammering your mind, your subconscious mind, that tomorrow I have to do this, tomorrow I have to do this. And one fine day it will happen after 7 days, or they generally tell in psychologists it requires 21 days for a particular habit to become a sanskar. So 21 days, if you rigorously try to follow a schedule, maybe a couple of days it would be challenging because of some unhappening things. But if you do that thing for a sustained period, it will become your habit. And whatever you have determined, things will happen. I use this even for my studies. When I was doing my CA thing, I planned my schedule that each day I have to read so many pages, I have to do this so many things, come what may. I will not sleep before doing so much of work. And I followed to that. And when I followed to that, I started getting success. Initially it is challenging. Second thing what I can suggest you is, always don't think that you're alone. Always get along with you something. Okay, if you imagine, if you are going alone on top of the mountain where you have no one with you, how difficult it would be. But if you have your friend along with you, if you are just talking to each other, and while talking you walk, even if you walk for 2-3 kilometers, you all will not feel that you have actually walked, because you have used that time with your companion, with chatting with your friend. Okay, you all might have remembered, whenever we are on a phone, how time flies, we don't know. Likewise, have the habit of keeping Supreme as a companion in whatever tasks you do. What happens with that is, we feel light, and we always feel that we have a bigger person with us. We don't feel alone. If a child goes to a market, a small kid of 2-3 years, if he goes to the market alone, he cannot go, and because he doesn't know the way back to his home. But if his mother takes him to the market, and if his mother only just lifts one finger of that kid will be so happy, and the kid will not be frightened, because kid will always know that my hand is being held by my mother, and she will always be there for me. She will always let me back to my home. So he will not be worried. He will enjoy the marketplace, he will enjoy the games, whatever he knows, because he knows that mother is there with me. Mother will take care of me. So likewise, what happens is, in our day-to-day life situations, we feel that this situation is our, I have to handle it. This is my responsibility. But the moment we start using the Supreme, we start holding his hand, we start making him our companion. Whatever thing we have determined for, it is very easy for us to get that thing, no matter how difficult it is. It could be even for that physical things, like somebody have the ambition of going to a walk daily, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, but it doesn't happen. But if you try doing this, you take the Supreme and you just enjoy walking with his company, you will find a drastic difference, drastic change. I also shared with you all in my in my experience that while going for examinations, while studying, I used him. So that also helps, in accomplishing, in getting to determine whatever you want to be. So try doing these 2 3 things, and definitely it won't be very difficult for you to gain whatever you need to.
So I think time is over, but last question can I ask Prafful Bhaiji? Hello, time is over, so we will meet tomorrow again 7 p.m. for a new topic. So we will continue this batch. So please join on time. Okay. Thanks again, Prafful Bhai, for a wonderful experience and a wonderful sharing. A very nice technique also. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was pleasure meeting each of you all. Good night, and do continue with this journey of Rajoga. I'm sure I will be loving to hear your experience as well one day. So whenever that day comes, I will definitely listen to all of you. Thank you so much. Good night. Hope to meet you all soon again. Om Shanti.